My people, airpeace is trending again, but this time not for the best of reasons. Anyways, reports have been flying around that their pilots tested positive for weed and alcohol after that Port Harcourt incident 2 months ago. But my question is, why is it just now the results are coming out? But let's first clear the air because the headlines are a little misleading. So, on July 13th, flights P47190 with 101 passengers coming in all the way from Lagos awkwardly landed in Port Harcourt and glided off the runway. Well, thankfully, no damage, no lives were lost. But the Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau (NSIB) launched an investigation. Fast forward 2 months later, a preliminary report dropped and boom, it went viral. So, according to Sahara reporters, NSIB toxicology tests found traces of alcohol in both captain and co-pilot. How is this possible? Well, not in their blood, but in their urine. That basically means they may have taken alcohol 2 to 3 days before the flight. Well, technically recent, but not exactly on duty drunk. And the cannabis, that wasn't the pilot, it was a cabin crew member that tested positive for THC. That is the active ingredient in weed. Now, Airpeace has denied these allegations completely. They say they've not even received the NSIB preliminary report and that their pilots undergo daily drug and alcohol checks. Plus, no one is allowed near the cockpit within 8 hours of a flight after alcohol. The captain involved has remained grounded since July for not following certain crew management principles, while the co-pilot was later reinstated after NCAA clearance. If there were serious drug issues, I guess the NCAA would not have cleared anyone. So Nigerians are asking, is this really about flight safety or is NSIB trying to drag Airpeace through the mud?
Okay, thank you for having me. My name is Victory Maduneme.
Right.
And to answer your question, a cabin crew or in aviation thoroughly, nobody is supposed to take alcohol or any drug at all before coming for a flight. So going forward to the question you asked, on the 13th of July, after we had landed, which was the day of the incident, after we had landed and we had to wait for NSIB to come on board. Then they came, started their investigation, and 5 hours later, they asked us to come into a room for them to do a test. So we all went into the room, and our blood samples were taken, and our urine were also taken. So, and normally, when those kind of tests is done, immediately after a drug test and an alcohol test, you're supposed to get your result within few hours or few minutes, right? But this was not given to us that day. Then 2 weeks later, 10 days later, which was on the 23rd, if I'm mistaken, sorry. On the 6th, I was called by NCAA to come and pick up a letter. Then I went to NCAA in Lagos, and I opened the letter and I was in utter shock to see what was in my result actually. So I went to go and see the doctor, and the doctor said, I told the doctor that I'm very shocked to see this in my result and it's not possible for me to have this in my system. So he asked me I should go back and come back in 7 days replying their letter. But I didn't wait for the 7 days. I had to respond, which is on the 7th. I sent most of the documents to you. So I replied the letter back to them on the 7th. And they didn't get back to me until on the dates. They got back to me on the 27th that I should come to the office. I went to the office and I was handed a letter, and the letter says I should do a reconfirmatory test, which I accepted to do. And they sent me to go and meet a doctor, Adetunji of Cooper Aerospace Clinic, which is the licensed clinic for this kind of test. Then when I went to go and meet the doctor and he came to see me, then he asked me that marijuana usually stays in the system for 90 days. That if I had something like this, that he's advising me that I should go back, then come back later when I feel like everything has cleared from my system. And I was like, no. If I go back and come back later, it actually proves that, yes, I have this kind of thing in my system, that I want to do the test. Which the test was done to me and it came out, everything came out negative. So, and there's a question I need to ask NSIB. If marijuana was found in my system, were they not supposed to tell this to my airline? And they're supposed to stop me from flying. Why? Because I'm a risk to the passengers on board, and my license would have been taken away from me. But no, they didn't inform them of this till after two months. This is like the second month, and it's just coming out and they're spoiling the image of the airline. I sent a copy of my results to you. Everything is there. Everything was clear. If marijuana was supposed to stay in the system for 90 days, this thing was done within a month. I did my test within a month. You can check it. And nothing was found in my system. If NSIB have a smearing campaign against the airline, they should keep the innocent people away from this. If not for the kindness of my chairman, they would have sacked me and blacklisted me. And once that is done, no airline in the world, I repeat, no airline in the world will pick me, because now they've painted me as this person that has drug in her system. This is really very bad.
Okay, let me,
And in the next 72 hours, if NIB do not come and reiterate whatever they have said against me, then I think we should sue. This is really very bad.
Right.
This is pure defamation of character.
And speaking of airports, let's move over to Anambra State. The government just announced plans to build another airport at Orumba North. This is coming less than 4 years after the Chinua Achebe International Cargo Airport was inaugurated. This is really ambitious, but somehow, is it necessary? Well, Nigerians are debating that one. Meanwhile, in Abia State, landowners are crying out over compensation for the proposed Abia airport. Governor Alex Oti has insisted progress is being made, but many landowners claim they've not seen a dime yet. To be fair, knowing Oti, well, he will compensate them. But for now, tensions are really rising among residents, especially those whose lands are involved.
Humble Mr. HSM Gabriel Okomona. Why is the committee in a table? Arawalan. I know what to do. I know Manabu Kadi Jaswan. I never can walk. Go to government Abia State to be the Messani or the Gemma. Anya Belamba Mont. 80% of 80% of us asking we go to upon me Halan in the airport. On 31st of May 2025, the governor said, "Now 100% of landowners." One no para. Unless no benda can't have a problem. Now ko cha logo. Hey, anya lota na ebe. O man di shimba, wo ba ga na konye village erike. Wo ba ga na ko chicha manu ko. Abota ala o jefu ala didu hafula. Anya so mo kwa ndidi. Up till now, I know made the government expert. Ni home okwese matter. Ni had wa ko go ndi ka ko through the bank. E matter the number of percentage we na akwala. Ha na ahio ngalile. Lelu ndi nwala. Ndi ra na ngana bu. Hu na aburu ndi dimpa chezi n'ụlọ. Ndi nwere umishi, ndi nwere umiteto umeri. Up till now no be one. Caterpillar do asichala 80% of our land. E bora ha de we do asai no last year. Na do asiabu, and you getting in January. Anyaman. Indirectly, we're not sure any of the youth into criminal activities. And you could watch an army. Chijo Manile. And every na lanyakwa. Police every na lanyakwa. Anya ba kwaso. Na nwona go. Akọ agudela anya se na na ekwele ngbu. Ni ha ku ru ndwa inde ba ban. Oha. Nkwo iwu nkwo. Kemba mlotara osi beke. Adi mebu nkwo amala. Diko nya amala. Lendi ndi dimba no ngana. Anyemo kwa nkwo iwu nkwo angi bu odo. Ado asichala akugo anyi 1 naira. Akugo de community interest. Ka gbe ka kula. O wa ni lunu lo anu no. Na ha governor di manya mo mama. O wa ni le lo anu o. Muna bina sile so man. O muna lunu ha fulani. Wonye ma yotu a. Ndi she mo du nu ma. Ya du nu mo di anyima. Mo du pana anyima ya du nu ma. Eni so le kwa o, ala le kwa o. Na governor na ma anyi. Mo bo ya, mo bo ndo di lo anu. Wonye ma yotu a. Yo, eligbe eligbe o. Ask of the plan. Plan na gidi jara la fejede. Aba kwa ta na ala. Ma ye jide wo joma no ha. Plan fejo akere ta ta. Ya me ma di me ma. Ada ba ndeka. Akwo Peter half of Paul. Asa na ko wrong way. Ma di ring no at the same wrong way. Akwo to onye. Na wa ko the court. Up till now, what has been done. And that's not correct. Oh, what? Unu le anuma ha governor di manya dem. Unu le no dem ma. For over 20 years. Both the PDP government and the no government. I didn't get the lala. Also, no money. Obo mo ina la beke na grade ani also. Obo mo ani ti la ni street light. I didn't care to menani. Obo bo hola di pa ka ni ba fo. Ani buta pa na nko a, buta ba no bi. Obo ha di ba fo bo hole. I didn't hani me government. Bu hendi ani le me bi si chale. Ani gi me no to ole. O unu le anu mo dem mo to a. Unu le anu. Abụrụ m ga-egbu ụgbọelu ka ọ bụ mma m kwụ na-adịghị mma ka ọ bụ ndị na-aga egbu ụgbọelu aga m n'afọ agụọ anyị na-agba plen ndị ka anyị mụọmanụ mmadụ anyị na-ekwute abụọ anyị na-enye gọọmenti 7 days ọ bụ mụrụ akwụ ụgwọ ya akwụ ụgwọ ma ọ bụ ya anyị ga-emezi nwa hafọ ala ifo anyị ga-etakasị n'ala katapilo ya kpọgbuo anyị ala isi otu ya gbuo anyị
So, here's where we are. Airpeace battling reputation issues over alleged drug use, and there is Anambra aiming for another airport. Abia still stuck in compensation drama. Aviation is literally the backbone of Nigeria's connection to the world. But right now, it feels like turbulence everywhere. So, my people, what do you think? Are these new airports a genuine step forward, especially in Abia and Anambra states? And is Airpeace being unfairly dragged? Drop your thoughts in the comments.